Hey, welcome to the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast with me, Iona Meade at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona. And today we are talking about and continuing on the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. I'm talking about having light work and lifestyle balance for spiritual entrepreneurs. And so today it is from the Seven Freedoms. It is Spiritual Freedom Saturday. I love today. And I say that, I think, just about in every day. And we're going to talk about soul guidance, our soul guidance, your soul guidance, and that feeling of ease, grace, and flow. Building your spiritual business as an entrepreneur, getting a light work out in the world in ease, grace, and flow. And also being in tune with your lifestyle as well, having ease, grace, and flow, and having your spiritual business not actually conflict with your lifestyle, actually fuel your lifestyle, and vice versa. So that is what we're going to be talking about today on the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. We usually start by rating our vibrational frequency, meaning that how in flow we feel, whether we feel in soul funk or feel in soul flow. And so for me, I determine that being, and this is what I teach, is to assess whether we're in soul flow, whether we are connected. We feel connected to source, guides, angels, universe, God source, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm not religious, very spiritual. And so that flow just feels like I'm just being guided. Like I'm just like, there's just a state, you know? Do you know that state? Let me know if you know that state. I love it. Soul flow. What does soul flow mean to you? So as I teach it as the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy, right? And the host of the Soul Legacy TV, right? And the Soul Legacy Movement and the Soul Legacy Launch Blueprint. I'm kind of obsessed with everything that has soul in it, right? And so I'm not obsessed really, but like it just is that for me, that soul guidance and soul guided influences and soul guided instructors and all the things. And I just love it. Because as I teach it, I teach to look at the world through the lens of your soul, meaning that, yes, we are humans on this earthly plane and we're having this beautiful dance with life in this physical form. But because we know that actually everything is energy and we, our souls, having come to this earthly plane to express what we've come to express and to honor the call of our soul to make a difference in the world and elevate our own vibration and the vibration of the collective. It's looking at the world through that lens. I absolutely love it. And I just do. So that's the first segment of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. And it's actually, and you know what? I've been reading my book today and my eyes feel blurry. Sometimes they lock into this like blurry state, which is like not cool. If you see me kind of looking like, they're not blurry unless I look at like a camera or something and I look away, it's not. So I just wanted to say that because I'm like, I can't, you know, they say that the eyes are the window to the soul. And right now they're like, oh. So that's the first segment of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast, right? Every single day we check in on this podcast. It's a practical podcast. We journal, we visualize, we set intentions together. I was talking about intentions. I share the books that I'm reading, share a book with you, with me, with us. And I invite you to our monthly networking call. And that for me is what I do every single day because I want to call in my soul tribe. I want to call in my soul family. And I also have been guided by my soul to show up and speak out and serve deep every single day. And I've been getting messages. I've been listening. I've been listening to other people's messages and content on YouTube. I've been watching a few. Hey, welcome on YouTube today and over this last few days. And the messages are really loud and clear. And I want to share a message that I got, like a nudge, right? That soul flow, a nudge. I'm going to get into the rest of the segments for the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. But I've got learning dyslexia, whether you know me or not. And I took a whole bunch, that was my gratitude stone, a whole bunch of notes. And if you see this is my idea of notes. Right? I have learning dyslexia. Can you understand that? Because I can't, but I just get it. And I was watching some content. So I want to share this with you, the underlying message, before we dive into more of the podcast. This is my opportunity to share with you what's been going on for me today regarding my spiritual freedom, and looking back from last week to this week to see where I'm at. And so, and how the universe is spitting me out the other side and saying, are you listening? And I'm listening. So I literally got a nudge, like, to watch a YouTuber. I don't know if you watch YouTube a lot. I watch YouTube. I don't watch TV, right? Very rarely. And I'm thinking, what is this YouTuber's name? And I got it, and it was Angels with Fran. Don't know if you've ever heard of her. Heard of her years ago. And when I was researching intentional living about 5-6 years ago, about five, maybe coming up for 6 years next year. Hey, love. Oh gosh, my eyes. I was just saying that my eyes are blurry. I've been publishing the paperback and proofreading that. Hello, beautiful soul. Yes. Messages are so clear and so many messages. Awesome. Let me know who that is. I have a feeling. So yeah, I got like, who's this YouTuber? What is it? And it was Angels of Fran. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I got that. And when I went onto her YouTube channel, so again, she was teaching intentional living, but we'd started to do that when I was in Twin Flame Union. Haven't looked at her YouTube channel at all for ages. Hey, Sherry, I thought it was. Hello. Haven't looked at her YouTube channel for years. And I literally just got that nudge. And I was like, okay, what? I knew it was Fran. I'm like, okay, Angels with Fran. Okay, that's fitting for Spiritual Freedom Saturday. And I can't read all of this, all those messy notes. But what I will say is what she said was that the trust, the video, the YouTube video, let me pull that up. Just 1 second. Let me just pull up the actual title of the video. It says, hang on. It says the secret to attracting anything that you want. And so her secret to attracting anything that you want is being in vibrational alignment, right? Because she's teaching intentional living, setting your intentions and your values, etc. Being aligned with your values. And what she said was, it was Relationship Freedom Friday yesterday. And I was talking about relationships and dating and letting go of certain relationships or a certain relationship. And I'm like, whatever this is, a soulmate relationship. And I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And then I let go of another one today. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with that as well. And so the secret to attracting anything you want isn't about like relationships, right? But she went there. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So that guidance for me, I always get those confirmations. So basically, she's saying about anything that you want, any area. So any area of the 7 freedoms, right? But she was saying the reason why you're not necessarily attracting what it is that you want in your life, or something that is conflicting, something that is not in vibrational match, that you think is not in vibrational match, is because, get this, you might not feel worthy. You're settling. You know that thing, whether it's clients, whatever it is, you know that thing, that person is not really truly what you want, but you're entertaining it for longer than you know that you should. I'm like, oh, Fran, what a message, right? And I was like, ouch. Longer than you know that you should, meaning that you are not trusting. If you trusted that thing would come into your life, and God, source, creator, whatever it is, universe will take care of it, and you just wait patiently, then you are not going to create from, what she say, create from a space of fear. You're going to create and manifest from a space of faith. Now, I would say fear and a space of freedom, right? Have you done that this week? Like, really, anything that you're settling for, it's time to just notice whether you're in vibrational alignment with it. And for all of the 7 freedoms, frequency, contribution, are you settling for anything in your contribution? Like how you're building your business, who you're working with, right? Who you're calling in. Are you settling? Are you playing smaller than you know that you could, right? For your health, what are you settling for? For your emotions, what are you settling for? Like, are you settling to have lower vibrational feelings around whatever it is because it's comfortable rather than elevating? Are you settling for an environment that you know you don't really want to be in? I'm like typing away today. I'm like, beach, the beach, Iona. You're going to travel, the beach. Are you settling for the relationships In dating for me, and I said it out loud yesterday, I was like, well, okay, I probably didn't feel worthy of a specific thing, a specific person. I'd got like this person on my vision board, or like in my mind's eye, not specifically on my vision board. And I was like, oh, I said it. Maybe I don't feel worthy of that particular. And then when they came back after ghosting me, I was like, how rude. I haven't been ghosted in years, or a long time. And I was like, how rude. And then he apologized today. And then I unmatched him. I was like, thanks, because what you do impacts other people. What we do impacts other people. So that's what she was basically saying. There was so much more than that, but just settling and trusting that self-love. She said, your words are your wand. Ooh, like Harry Potter, like zapping. I haven't watched the Harry Potter series, but that's what she was saying. Like the Harry Potter, like you'd be able to zap and have anything that you want. Your words are that, the vibration of your words, and that having clarity on what it is that you want will help. What else did she say? She said so much. Yeah, feeling worthy and just not blaming others, and saying, well, it's their fault. The dominant vibration will win. So if your vibration is just like a bit wishy-washy around any of the 7 freedoms, then whether it's contribution, whether it's health, whether it's your emotions, your relationships, your spirituality, or your finances, then and settling for what you're worth, especially around money, especially around the freedom of that. I love that. Do you love that? I didn't want to save it to the end because that ease, grace, and flow. I'm like, ooh, I get the messages that I need for me, and then I want to share them with you. And I don't know about you, but I don't watch a bunch of TV. Often people will say, I don't have time. I don't have time to create. I don't have time to blah, 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 fill in the blank. And it's like, if you know you're a powerful manifester, why would you even come from the space of lack and a poverty consciousness? Because a poverty consciousness is saying, I don't have, whether it's time or money or energy or whatever it is. That's not coming from a space that it's already done and it's already created, right? So it's not being in tune with that soul guidance. I love that. I want to pull this card. Well, I pulled this card. I want to show you this card. I want to do this episode in a different way, like in a different order, just because I can. Melchizedek is from the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. Oh, you can't really see that? Maybe. Okay, get it? And so it says higher learning. It irritates me when I get this one. It's like, that's not in flow. It irritates me when I get this one, because I'm like, I'm doing it. So it says higher learning, and this is what it says. This is for me, and it's for you if you resonate with it. You have learned from experience, which I'm doing. More inner study is now required to further your progress. I'm doing it, Melchizedek. I'm doing it. We're doing it, right? We're doing it. We're journaling, all the rest of it. What I want to say is the next segment of the 7 Freedoms Frequency podcast is creating a vision. And creating your vision board, as Fran said, Angels of Fran said, getting clarity, and you want to be clear on every single area of your life so that you can recognize and say no to something that you would settle for that's not on your vision board, that's not in alignment with where it is that you want to go, what it is that you want to experience. Creating a vision board in and of itself, I say a spiritual business vision board. For Lightwork and Lifestyle Balance. And Sherry, if you do come back on, because it says that you're not on that right now, have you created a vision board? I would love to see it. I would love to post it. We have the group for that. It's a Facebook group. And again, when I do the challenge again on the second week in December at 7:30 p.m. UK time, Monday to Sunday, as I grow the YouTube channel, that's like a requirement, right? To be really clear on what it is that we want to manifest. Because when we're wishy-washy, we're behind closed doors, kind of not deciding, being pushed and pulled by life, that's not our light work and lifestyle balance. And it's also not actually manifesting and creating the way that we say that we want to, the way that we say that we can. Oftentimes our thoughts, our feelings, our actions are being pushed and pulled by the conditioning of what it is that we've experienced, or the trauma that we've experienced, or somebody else's wishes, hopes and desires for us, and not our own. And I'm here to make a stand for that. And sometimes we feel overwhelmed. Sometimes we feel some type of way. Whatever it is, we get to decide to shift our vibration and raise our vibration every single day. And if you think that's impossible, then you don't really believe in trust. And I know that you do because you're here, right? So the next segment is how you want to launch, lead, and leave your day. And again, this setting intentions is a spiritual experience. And again, I was reading this book, Make It Happen, Manifest the Life of Your Dreams. It's just such an epic book. I was reading this yesterday, which was Relationship Freedom Friday. And I didn't read a book or this book for today. Instead, I came across, or just had the nudge to go and watch Angels with Fran and that video. But it's still all about the manifesting. It's still all about and that's the spiritual practice. And some people say, I'm going to stay away from manifesting. I'm not going to talk about manifesting. Like, I'm not a good manifester, all the things. And I get it. But really, we know we are. But we might just be focusing on the thing that we don't want more than the thing that we do want, and not trusting in the freedom of it. Or that it's funny because in the spiritual community, we do believe in what we believe in. We do know that we're bringing things into form. We do know, we trust the angels, we trust the universe to a degree, and then we start arguing with what the universe is actually presenting in front of us, and we're like, get mad, get frustrated, get disappointed, get blah 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 blah. Look at the human experience, the physical experience, the visible world, instead of trusting what is in our vortex, in the vibrational world, because it's a dance, it's a process, it's a learning, and it's an understanding. And that ease, grace, and flow, and that soul guidance, and moving up and down the emotional scale is something that is an art form, to be mastered. I don't know if it's ever mastered, but to be practiced is probably a better word. And when you're doing that behind closed doors on your own, it's hard. It's hard. And so that's me saying, you know what, I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to come, I'm going to soul speak it into existence. I was watching, like I said, several videos today. And one of them was Charlene Johnson getting interviewed by a guy. I don't know what the guy, I think he was part of the Think Media team, the Sean Cannell's team, I think. And she was talking about business and marketing and how she was known for a fitness brand, etc., and how she moved away from that, and how, like she said, if you want to start a podcast. I talk about YouTube podcasting, and she didn't know about YouTube. She had to move away from one platform to, immerse into another platform and get to know it, let other things rest while you get to learn. And I do suggest that as well. And she said, when you start something like that, a podcast, just do it. Whether anybody's listening or not, you just get better. You get better at what you do. And I'm like, wow. Yesterday, the soul guidance, or the day before, was listening to Alex Hormozi, which these people are multimillionaires, right? Listening to Alex Hormozi, and he was saying about being committed for 10 years to his podcast, right? And his YouTube channel. And after 6 years, he hit number one. But the first 3 years, he was talking about launching a gym and talking to nobody, basically. And he pivoted and he evolved. And Charlene Johnson saying she's pivoted and she's evolved, but get known for one thing and start messy. And so I'm just getting those confirmations. It's not even like, oh, I wish I was doing that. I want to do that. Oh, I'm listening. I'm like, I'm doing it. This is part of me just doing it. And I will look back and I will say, oh my gosh, remember, I was guided by my soul. I started before I was ready, literally. In Think and Grow Rich, he says, Napoleon Hill, start before you get ready, before you're actually ready. Just go for it. Like, you've got a process. I've got a process. I've got a soul signature system that I know works because it works for me. And does it work perfectly all the time? No, not if I don't work it. Like, if I don't raise my own vibration, if I don't manage my own emotions, if I don't follow my own soul guidance as a soul guided influencer, as I was writing my book, it was so beautiful to get to the end of the book today. And I've just recorded a video because I'm launching the paperback on the 20th of December in memory of my big brother, one of my big brothers, and my godson's mum. They shared the same birthday. They were not the same age, but they shared the same birthday. And I was guided this week. So when I look at last week to this week, I didn't even know that group was created 4 days ago. I didn't even know last Saturday that that group would be in existence. I think I've got like 20 something, maybe 21 members in there. So thank you for being in there. I'm not streaming this out in there, but thank you, because I want to. It's called the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Best-Selling Book Launch Club. I've already launched my best-selling book, but I actually want us to come together, sharing our spiritual awakening story on my co-author book series, and actually create a space for my students who are launching their books, and create a space for other books that I actually want to read from my soul tribe, right? I love reading, and I'm always reading. I'm always giving books a shout out. So if you've got a book and you want me to, I'm not promising to read everybody's books, but I will read a chapter and give a review and different things. Like, I will do that for my students. I can't do that for everyone. Excuse me, there might be a book, but I can like read a chapter if it's a free chapter, but I can't buy everybody's or promise to buy everybody's book. But I really want to have my students' books and my Soul Tribe's books in a floor to ceiling bookshelf. I've just always envisioned having a floor to ceiling bookshelf, but I didn't actually really know what would be on there. And then when I decided, when I was downloaded the idea to launch the Soul Legacy TV Press YouTube public and publish YouTube promotions agency about 3 years ago now, I was like, really? Oh my, I've got to do that. I think is it 2 years? 3 years. 3 years. It's 3 years ago. Because I was in that soulmate connection. I think it's 3 years. Is it already gone 3 years? It might be coming up for 3 years. Not sure. I think it's 3 years. It's 3 years. Excuse me. And it was an idea, and I'm like, how on earth? Because I hadn't leaned into all of the YouTube the way that I have now. Well, I had begun to, but I didn't know what I know now. And this book, the title of it wasn't a thing. There's so much soul guidance over, when you get an idea, welcome. When you get an idea, you download that idea. I call it a soul download. When you download that idea, you get nudge and you write it down and you have all of these creative ideas. What do you do with it? Do you actually follow through on the one that you feel called to, that's in alignment with your big vision and mission? Or do you try and scatter your energy and implement everything at once? I've got a lot going on at once. Excuse me. But sometimes when you have this big vision and you think, say for a YouTube channel, no, say for a book, a best-selling book launch, most people think, I will write the book for myself. I'm like, no, dude, the book is for a reader. And as I was on my walk the other day, and I said I'd cover more of this on Contribution Freedom Monday, but the idea of launching a book and what goes inside of your book and what you need to actually have ready for that book to actually make sense and actually have it be published for the reader, not for yourself, just because you've got a book. Like, if you want somebody to buy the book, but then you say, well, the book is about me and I just want to share my story, why should somebody buy it? Like, it makes no sense. You create the book for the reader to buy it. Because, like, imagine if a chef, imagine if a chef, don't know what happened then, only made his favorite dish, then invited you to his restaurant. It might be some of his favorite dish as well, but like, he only did that and he was only going to ever do that. Like, you wouldn't keep going back there and you wouldn't buy it. Like, if you were into different fit, you like one, it doesn't make sense. So writing your book for the reader is something that I don't think that people really understand. Not as many people that want to write a book really truly understand. And with the Soul Legacy TV Press, that is what the message that I want to convey. And Charlene Johnson was saying that she didn't know when she moved into business and marketing, she didn't know the online world, and she has invested a couple, 2-3 million in herself and going through different courses and then putting together what she now sees as, really great marketing. And, she says, you just start, you start and you start scrappy, but most people don't realize, to start like if you start a podcast, what we're going to start it around, who would be your audience, where's it going to lead to, blah 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 blah. I've learned that the hard way, right? So all of my soul guidance is just leading me to more information to strengthen the foundations, the firm foundations that I'm standing on. I had a conversation with someone this week, I would say a soul sister, and she was saying, this is what we need. This is what we need as spiritual entrepreneurs, as light workers, as healers, the firm foundations of the business, rather than just being up in just the spiritual realm and not actually grounding and building that on a firm foundation. I love it. I'm like, I knew that's what I was here for. I know that's what I've been guided to. And I've literally dragged myself along so I could be here with you and speak to you, and then look back in 7 years' time and say, oh my gosh, that's where I started. Remember, like, there was nobody right now watching, no one. And that's okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, because people don't believe. And another video that I watched today, somebody else was saying that when you look at, and I don't think this is true for YouTube, but he says when you look at and you don't have that many followers, people like are not really going to subscribe like to your YouTube channel. I don't think that's true for YouTube. Excuse me, but the positioning and the authority is massive. It's different between somebody who's got 100 followers and 100,000. You automatically think, oh, you've got more clout and you're going to believe they're more believable. And he says about building your brand and starting your YouTube channel and your other social media. The way that he explained, like building your social media presence, I'm like, yeah, not in that order. Not in the order that he'd said. And I just think there's so much information out there. And again, as Celine Johnson said, we think that we've got to be on all of the platforms in all of the spaces, and we don't, we don't, not at all. But basically the message is start from where you are and just get going with it. Nobody gets 100,000 subscribers or followers instantly. They just start from where they are. We all start with one and we go up in numbers. It's just how quickly we do that. But if you shy away and you hide behind closed doors, it's going to be never. So in my book, Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul guided influencer's compass to leverage your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. And I know it's a long title, but that's what it does. It does what it says on the tin. When I got to the end of the book today, I was like, wow, because I haven't read it all the way through. So this week, that is what I've been guided to do. And then launch the book launch club. And I'm like, oh, that is freaking genius. And then I've laid out on the event page how I want the I would say source spirit guys. Everybody says spirit told me, and I'm like, I say downloads, and I'm just like, I don't see it like it is coming through me. I say that's soul guidance. My soul guidance is a way that I feel comfortable saying that, but people say spirit told me, angels told me, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't say it like that, but I know it. I absolutely did not make that decision to create that. And then I've got the event page with the Zoom room for the day, and then the book and an offer and all the links, and then the 5-day challenge that goes inside of my book, and then the upgrade, and it's a self-study, and then the upgrade Q&A to that. And then what else have I got? The free chapter group coaching VIP day. And then I've got one-on-ones for 50 people that actually purchase the book, share it, and share the screenshot. Love that. And give a video testimonial. So excited about that. And so that is called the Book Money Breakthrough, Passive and Leveraged Soul Client Income Streams. Love that. And I was like, oh my God, this is the window. That's the window. Everybody wants to write a book. Everybody wants to get it to number one. Nobody really wants to start a YouTube channel, or they do, but they're like, oh, it takes too much time. And the way that I teach to do that is to create a companion journal with your book and just talk about it. Journal. You journal every single day, right? If you don't journal every single day, you journal and you want to journal every single day, or you should journal every single day, and you're like, no. Not walking your talk is like, it's hurting our industry. That's why I will say us as light workers, as spiritual entrepreneurs, hiding behind closed doors in lower vibrational frequencies, not walking our talk, or only walking the spiritual path and not actually integrating into our contribution, giving that lip service, into our health, into managing our emotions, into our environment that we really want to be in, not settling for less, into the relationships that we want to have, not settling for narcissistic and toxic relationships, into doing all the spiritual practices, into the financial freedom. Like, we're not doing the best job that we can do. We're not. We're not. We know we're not. And it's time to come together to do better. Right? I don't want to just hold myself accountable. I want to hold you accountable, and you to hold me accountable. That's why I'm doing the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. Is like, this is my accountability. Like, every single day. I'm good with that. Love it. Right. Okay. How do you want to launch, lead, and leave your day with ease, grace, and flow? How are you going to bring that spiritual how listening to what are you going to do today? But I don't mean that unplanned, unorganized day. Like, yeah, if I don't feel like working as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a light worker, I'm just not gonna, because you employ yourself. So if you're your own employee, would you act like that when you're employed for somebody else for a soul-sucking day job or night job? No, you wouldn't. You'd go to work anyway, whether you feel like it or not, and you'd put in at least 8 hours per day, right? Or part-time hours, or like a whole 12-hour, 10-hour shift for somebody else. What about doing that for your business? 5 days a week, and if you're working a job and you're putting in all of those hours for that job, are you putting in any hours for your business? And when are you going to put hours in for your business? Just saying, like, I've done it all, and it's just like, we have to do better, because we know that the world needs our transformation. I don't actually know what's going on with my head today. Right. Launching your day, leading your day. What 1 to 3 soul-guided action steps can you take to listen to the signs, to write down the signs, to do the screenshots, to do the blah, 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 and note down when it is that we're getting that guidance and implementing it? Right? I'd actually implement when I got this, can't even read it, from that's what Fran said. She said, when you're getting into relationships that are unevenly yoked. And I'm like, yeah, that's unevenly yoked. I let that one go yesterday. And then today, there's somebody that has been in my, I haven't met them, in my world since I did my vision board challenge on relationships, soulmate connection. Definitely a connection. He felt the connection. And I was talking about, and he works 7 days a week. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel like freedom to me. I don't want to settle for that. He's got an 11-year-old daughter. And I'm like, obviously I want to go and travel, and everybody's saying that doesn't fit with where you want to be. And I'm like, yeah, but I like his values, raising his daughter on his own kind of thing. And I'm like, well, we'll see. And I'm like, I've got this nudge, like, maybe that's not, but I'm like, well, we'll just see. I'm not trying to control it. And then, because we haven't met, because he's working 7 days a week, I'm like, what would you do? Like, something has to give, right? Like, my love language is quality time. I'm not going to get that. Like, if you were doing that, if you say that you want a relationship, you say that, blah, 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 where does that fit in? I remember asking him that, and he was like super offended. And I'm like, dude, I asked you that back in the beginning, and it's been months, 3-4 months, just talking. And I moved away. I moved to London, etc. Otherwise, I would have met him anyway. Just talking, and then just saying, we'll just speak as friends, blah, blah, whatever. So there's nothing ever serious in it, but just contemplating it, just being in my mind. And so then I said, something would have to give. And I said, well, could this second job, could that give? Like, how much money would you need to replace? And then he was talking about, well, I'd need to replace this whole big chunk, basically 10k for the part-time job, but it's like, oh, well, I need 40k to, and I'm like, okay, that's not what I was asking. I was talking about freeing up the weekends to have that freedom. Like, I'm not going to get into, I'm being like reluctant to get into it, refusing actually to get into anything until like that feels better. And I'm not going to settle. So I can't even say that I'm into a relationship that's unevenly yoked. I haven't been, but I've still, it's been on my mind, right? Considering it. And then the attitude towards the finances, and it's like, I need a job that pays. In the language of that, like, I need a job that pays, blah, blah, blah. Knowing my path and what I want to create, it's like, well, we could create this and we could do this and we could do that, because I'm trying on the whole lifestyle, right? Hey, welcome. I'm trying on the whole lifestyle before I even step into it. Like, I want to project out, like, what do you see, your values? And like, what was I watching? Again, something on relationships. All of my content that I've been absorbing, my downtime, is like getting those confirmations. I think it was Lewis House and Stefan Labussiere, Stefan Speaks, was saying that people don't have these conversations while they're in the relationship, should have them really early on. I'm having them before I even get into anything. So we're having these kinds of conversations. So this one today was that, like, it was from yesterday up until today. So I let one go yesterday, and I was like, I'm going to let this one go if that, like, this is even considered. And he was short and impatient. And it's like, I've explained. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't answer the question that I asked. And so then he's like, oh, what a boring conversation. That's what he actually said. And I was like, done, delete, gone, not settling. Want a job. I don't, that's where you see it. It's like, oh, no, absolutely not. Like, not being rude. And obviously, we do all need jobs at some point. But my future doesn't include that, like that self-employment, or willing to be self-employed, willing to work towards a vision. Otherwise, I'm going to be that woman that's resented in that relationship because you don't. And again, the soulmate connection, and letting that go, he's like, well, what is it that you earn a month and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what has that got to do with anything? Because my income is not capped. So then he told me, and I was like, and he goes, well, it's not a lot, but it's, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, I said, why are you saying that right now? We've known each other for 3 years. And he said, well, it takes money to travel. And I'm like, I'm not at that financial freedom place to cover everything, make sure me and my daughter are covered before I go off gallivanting, right? Like, family is everything to me. Make sure it's coming in and blah, blah, blah. That's what you do. And I'm like, but I'm working towards that. What are you talking about? And so I said, but you also need to work from anywhere to travel. It's like, yeah, true. So I'm like, don't try call me out when you are not even doing it. So that was 2. That's it. And for me, writing my book on soulmates, spiritual dating, the awakened soulmates, marriage CV, for me, I'm like, the calling is first. I keep ignoring it. Like, what their calling is, what my calling is, me being inspired by their job. And I wasn't inspired by either of them, their job. So really, because the 7 C's, I talk about calling, your commitment, your chemistry, your compatibility. I can't remember what else, calling, connection, and communication. I don't know what if I said them all, but I'm like, calling was at the bottom, and calling for me, I want to be inspired by my man, my husband's, what he does, and for him to love what he does, whether we do something together or not. But for him to be an intelligent man and a conscious man, that's super important to me. And I keep, as Fran said, settling, entertaining. I haven't settled because I haven't jumped in. And when I jumped in with the soulmate connection, I jumped straight back out. I was like, mm-mm. So it's like, just don't even entertain it, Iona. If it doesn't, just trust it. And that was the message that I got for today, because the spiritual freedom and the guidance, soul guidance, when I've been in relationship, it was the Relationship Freedom Friday again yesterday. When I was with my ex-husband, we grew apart. When I was in for the soulmate relationship for the 7.5 years, we grew apart. He didn't respect the game. He didn't respect what I was doing at the time. More so now, never got what I was doing. But in more recent years, even like a couple of years ago, I said I should have within this last couple of years, I should have supported you more. He knows that he didn't. I talk about the story where I put a do not disturb sign on my door because I was like recording and doing different things and learning. Didn't always want everybody knocking on the door. That's what I was guided with the Open University. I think it was that, just when you're doing things, just let everybody know between these hours and these hours, I'm not available. He pulled the sign down and ripped it and threw it on the floor. Like, I was heartbroken, and it wasn't the sign, it was what that stood for. And he said he didn't do it. And when we talked about it, and I said, and you said you didn't do it, and he smiled and we laughed about it. But I was like, and he said, I should have supported you more. Twin flame, some of you that know me will have seen that, like coming online saying that we want to travel, saying that we want to do this, but not actually wanting to do the work that goes and backs into this, being on the sidelines. I'm like, nah, dude, that's not, I'm not willing to do all of that work to have that lifestyle for somebody to come in and skate along or resent me for it, And so that's the message that I'm getting. Like, I'm talking about dating, I'm talking about business, but those are the things that have sabotaged my business. I've allowed to sabotage my business, not because I didn't think I was worthy, but just because I'm like, well, when you love someone or you're in a relationship, you're already in a relationship, and they're telling you a certain thing, you believe them. And then it's like, nah, dude, I can see your actions do not match your words. I know that. And when I've gone for a reading, my dad, my brother, and my son are all like, yeah, my dad specifically, yeah, that was enough idiot. It's what my dad said. It's like, okay. It's like, yeah, at least you now know to say no and tell them to go away. I'm like, yes, Dad, I do. Anyway, all right. Done the vision board, done the rating, done how you want to launch, lead, and leave your day, done the steps that you can take to let go of something. Let it go or let it in. We'll do gratitude, the 7 freedoms frequency way. And I say, I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate. So I have my gratitude stone, happy and grateful and appreciate each of the 7 freedoms. And I say, something for the past, something from the present, or something from the particular future. I'm happy and grateful and I appreciate everybody who is supporting me for the book launch, purchasing the book, leaving reviews for the book, leaving screenshots for the book. Super excited. Thank you so much. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate just the time that I take out of my day to really look after my body and working out and just really enjoying the process and my body changing. Happy and grateful for that. Happy and grateful and appreciate just feeling joyful like the majority of the time. Really happy and grateful and appreciate that. Welcome. I'm doing gratitude. So if you do gratitude, let me know. Happy and grateful and appreciate. This is my video journal. So I'm like, what my soul guidance is said. I only share it every single day and have you remember to do gratitude too. We do it the 7 freedoms frequency podcast way. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my emotions. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate for my environmental freedom, this space and having you with me today in the present, right? I'm happy and grateful and appreciate relationships, the relationships that I've had with my guests, interviewing 6 new guests, on the Spiritual Awakening annual YouTube Summit and podcast. Super happy and grateful for that because I think a few days before, definitely the week before, my daughter came around on the Friday. I was due to do it on the Wednesday. I was like, I don't even have everything set up and everything confirmed. My daughter just sent me a message. That is crazy. You see that? That is like, wow. I get her all the time, like thinking of me, blah, blah. She sent me 3 images, don't know what they are. Have a look after I come off. See that soul guidance right there? Oh, tidied her friend's room while she's at work. Oh, really? I love that. I used to do that for her. And she's like, before she'd be like, Mum, get out of my room. I'm like, dude, I'm cleaning it. I love her so much. She's just amazing. She's so, what a kind thing to do. I'm happy and I'm grateful and appreciate. Did I say relationships? Yeah, with my daughter. And the relationship that I actually have with one of her friends that they've known each other since they were super little. And she was telling me how we used to go around to a friend's mum's house, and we'd be chilling, me and a friend's mum, and then we'd get the nudge to go out, and so they knew that that was going to be a sleepover night, but they always wanted one, and we'd go, oh no, oh bless her. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my guidance. Just get that synchronicity. Really happy and grateful for that. Thank you. Happy and grateful and appreciate financial freedom. My daughter's just sent me some money, a message about money, and then the just that energy exchange between us, beautiful. And then she said the present that I bought for my niece, she went and got it for me, and so I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate that financial freedom to be able to say, here's the money, can you go and get somebody a present. My niece asked, she didn't ask for them, she just mentioned to a client yesterday, because it's winter in the UK, a client had thermal leggings on. She said, oh, I could do with some of them. It's like, I can make that happen. And I said to my daughter, shall we go in town? Will you come with me? And she said, I'm going to town. I'll pick some up for you. I'm like, yes. And that synchronicity, that financial freedom, being able to do that is magical. To be able to have something, be happy is just amazing. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that. That's the gratitude. I'd love for you to play the soul income game with me. I've done the card and the book. This is the wrap up, I think, and then the monthly call. So the Soul Legacy Journal, which I'm the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy. I call this 365 Days of Your Spiritual Awakening Story. Spiritual awakening, that spiritual greatness, watching. And I was reading this book all day yesterday again. Instead of being in my office, we had work done. My niece had work done, and I was just sitting on the bed, electric blanket, reading this, and that was the idea. The 5 love languages for Relationship Freedom Friday yesterday. I was like, I can make that happen. I know her love language. I'm like, yes. So I call this a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers, right? Excuse me. And this journal, imaginary vibrational money voucher. If you can use your imagination, imagine you've just been given £1,000, dollars, or euros. So if I didn't have the money in the bank to be able to say, oh, go and get blah, 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 like a gift, if you wanted to get a gift with somebody and it was more expensive and that was like a cheap gift, hey, welcome. If we're going to play the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, the soul income game, right? So if this journal gave you £1,000, dollars, or euros today, what would you spend it on? Would you gift somebody a present? So again, I gifted my niece, it wasn't 1,000, but say you don't have the money, you're not earning the money, you're not in the position to buy whatever it is on your vision board, right? This gives you a way to be in vibrational alignment spiritually. As spiritual entrepreneurs, as light workers, we're not necessarily in alignment. We've got all these money blocks. Angels with Fran talks about removing money blocks. She's got a resource, and I want to bring her on to the Spiritual Awakening on YouTube. So I'm going to reach out to her, and probably for January, if I can get her on for December, I will. But I'm going to give her options and see if she'll come on. That would be an amazing collab, because I've watched her work for years. But she's got a money blocks. I don't even know what it is, so I haven't had a look at all of her link tree, but supporting us with it, because not being in vibrational alignment with the money that we want to manifest in order to manifest our vision is blocking us and holding us in lower vibrational frequencies around our emotions. And we have to take responsibility for that and actually, really manage our emotions so that we can move up the emotional scale on all of these areas of the 7 freedoms frequency. I call it the intentional living codes, the Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency, and the 7 freedoms for short, right? So that money you spend, right? So if you don't have it, even if you do have it, to not actually just go out there and keep spending and feel a sense of lack. We spend the vibrational money voucher and actually come from that vibrational space that we're good. right? All of our bills are done for a year, at least financial freedom. All of our savings are done for a year. All of our taxes are done for a year. How much is that like for you? Have you done the maths? Do you do the maths as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a light worker? Are you in touch with the maths? I teach you that on the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass, the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge. We start to take this vibrational experience and do it in the physical world, right? And I've seen people on here scrolling, right? Scrolling, because I'm on live, I'm streaming out on the socials, I'm streaming out in the Soul Legacy Academy, and I have a 2-hour monthly coaching call called the Seven Freedoms Frequency Calling Gym. So this is for students as well as for me and for you. And I see people scrolling. What we want to do is just stop scrolling on social media and be very intentional with how we use our time, and stop saying that we don't have time to manifest this money, or we don't need the money. Like, what is that? Like, in order for us to do our work in the world and contribute, we receive an energy exchange, right? That's money. So we spend our vibrational money voucher. There's rules. We type 10% to a worthy cause. The worthy cause that I type to is called Compassionate Friends. It's a charity. I volunteer for. I will be volunteering for. And it's a charity for bereaved parents, because I am one. So I dedicate my work to my son, Darnell Samuel Meade. I dedicate my book to Darnell as well. And so the book launch means a big deal to me. And again, I'm getting that help and that guidance from the other side. And I'm really, really excited about it. You know, on being able to launch, lead, and leave my soul legacy along with the memories and the experience that I've had with them. Again, it's launching on my brother's birthday and my godson's mum's birthday. And I should say my godchildren, because she's got more children, 5 or 6, as well. So, you know, it's really important to me. It's really important to me to walk my talk. And so I built a business model where if I have a certain amount of students come into my mastermind each month, I bank that 50K really super easy, like really easy, like easy. Fran, Angels with Fran, she was talking about not settling and just only being willing to manifest and accept amazing experiences. Like, no more settling, no more being in vibrational alignment with chaos. Like, chaos does unfold as you're raising your vibration. That's okay. But like, just asking for amazing experiences, like flowing, like that ease, grace, and flow. That's so good. I love it. So I would love for you to come onto, in the show notes is the Vision Board Challenge. In the show notes is the Bank 50K 50 Days Challenge. In the show notes is our monthly call for Spiritual Biz YouTubers. It goes along with my book, and it goes along with the community, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. Excuse me. And as I grow that, and I reach out to more YouTubers and more people that want to start a YouTube podcast, and want to launch their book and want to create a course around their book. A lot of people have not put the things together. People like, I'm just creating my course in their head. I teach you to launch a prepaid course. I'm just writing my book in their head. I teach you to pre-order, launch your book to #1 bestseller on pre-order. I'm just creating all the videos on my YouTube channel. I teach you to schedule them out for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are doing things and they're getting bogged down and they go, I don't have time. That's because you're doing things in the wrong order. I'm just saying. All right. So I would love to have you on our monthly call. It happens on the first Monday of the month at 9 p.m. UK time. 90 minutes. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to point my own joint vision partners to that call, so I don't have to get on a call one-on-one, and actually bring together a bunch of amazing lighthouse partnerships for us all, because it's time to get out of our own way. It's time to be in service, show up, speak out, and serve deep. And so with that said, welcome. I've come to the end of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast on Spiritual Freedom Saturday. Every single Saturday, I will come and share what's going on for me and how I'm following that soul guidance, and how that shows up with ease, grace, and flow, you know? My vibrational frequency today is definitely an 11. Yesterday it was a 10, not as in flows today, and I love it. And those dips and troughs are okay. That contrast is just okay to birth more light, right? So share your gifts and shine your light because you were born to serve. This is Iona Meade. Definitely subscribe to the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona, the YouTube channel. Follow along on the podcast. Share this out for someone who needs to hear. Go over to Angels with Fran as well and check out what was the hang on. I'm going to give you the video that I watched that inspired today. I've got to just tap into my Mac. Hang on. The Secret to Attracting What You Want by Angels of Fran. I highly recommend watching that video. I think she's a tough love lady, as I am. Yeah, and I shall speak to you soon. I shall see you for Financial Freedom Sunday. If you don't know what the podcast is, go back and watch replays, and I shall speak to you soon. Big love. Take care.